What's good, everyone? I'm the Shadow Sage, and today I'm continue with part 5 of what if Naruto went rogue. And before we get into the actual video today, I just wanted to talk about a few things first. And the first thing is that I lost my mic. It got stolen or went missing. I honestly have no clue what happened to it. Like, it was the weirdest shit. I had it in my bag when I went to the beach, and when I came back from the ocean, it was gone. Simply gone. And I don't know if someone stole it or it dropped out of my bag. I have no clue what happened, but unfortunately the audio quality is going to go down in the next few videos, and I'm really sorry about that. But I do have $200 that I saved over like the past few months, so I'm going to try to buy a new mic. And I know that there are some very good mics out there for under 200 bucks, but I do want to do my research, and I want to use this as an opportunity to improve the channel. And you know, we can turn a bad situation into good, and hopefully I can find a pretty decent mic out there. So yeah, the quality is going to go down, so please bear with me, and I apologize for that. And now into the second thing, we hit 1.5k subs. That's mad, like literally mad. On my last video, we hit 1k subs, now we hit 1.5k subs. You guys are really going above and beyond. Like, you guys never cease to amaze me, and I am so incredibly grateful. So thank you so much. That's just amazing. And once again, join the Discord server, boys and girls. Don't discriminate. Please join the Discord server. Links in the description down below. Please check it out. Like, I would say around 10 people checked it out already in my last video. And we talk there. We talk about Naruto. We talk about future what ifs. We just talk about whatever. And we have a great time. So please check that out. And now, without further ado, let's get into the recap. In part 4 of this series, Naruto and the gang went through the preliminary rounds of the Chunin exams, and in this timeline, Naruto completely embarrassed Kiba and might make Kiba retire. To be honest, he pretty much ended his whole career. And let me tell you, the beatdown that he gave him was brutal. He put Kiba in a near-death state. And another change that happened from the original canon timeline is that Sai is going to be Choji instead of Dosu beating Choji, so that means Sai replaces Dosu in the final phase of the Chunin exams. And all the rest of the matchups in the preliminary rounds have the same outcomes, so that means all the same people got put in the third phase of the Chunin exams. But there was one major key difference. In the Neji vs Hinata fight, when Neji goes for the kill and all the Jonin step in to save Hinata, Naruto steps in to save Hinata, and when Neji questions him, he has a big emotional outburst, shocking everyone. And after that, Naruto runs away, and then he comes back after collecting himself, and then all the matchups are announced for the third phase of the Chunin exams, and then they have Neji and Naruto pitted against each other, and this is the start of that rivalry that we saw in canon, but in this timeline it's pretty different than the canon rivalry. Alright, now let's get into this actual part. So when the group of genin that got into the third phase of the Chunin exams disperses, Kakashi and Guy will ask to speak to Hiruzen in private, and they'll say that's very urgent, and then Hiruzen's like, very well. It's about Narui, isn't it? And then Kakashi and Guy will be very surprised, but then they'll say like, yeah, precisely, it's about Narui. And then Might Guy will tell Hiruzen about the ominous orange chakra that Lee said that Naruto used in the Forest of Death. And this basically confirms Hiruzen's suspicion as well, as Hiruzen obviously was suspicious of Narui. He knows exactly what the orange ominous chakra is. He obviously probably worked with Kushina in the past, and Kakashi also probably worked with Kushina in the past. We've shown a numerous filler that he has. So when they hear about this, they're like, yep, it's definitely gotta be the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. And then Hiruzen says, yeah, definitely. You two might not have been able to sense it, but I could sense the Kyuubi chakra within that boy, even though it's suppressed by the seal. And also, he seemed to know Hinata, and he had a few strong words for the village, and it's confirmed that 99% Narui is Naruto. And the boy is strong and a prodigy just like his father, but it seems that his personality is very different to Minato, and they're just talking about like how cold and ruthless Naruto is, compared to how kind and gentle Minato was. And as they're talking about his personality, Kakashi will say, to say he has a personality is quite the stretch. It's almost as if he was put through Danzo's cruel training, and that technique of his was so precise that it put Kiba in a near-dead state without killing him, although that outburst of emotion he had was something else. And they were like, yeah, there were a few glimpses of his mother, and we must keep him here in the leaf. I promised his parents I'd keep him safe, but I've utterly failed, but I don't intend on giving up. So Hiruzen will say that, and he says that I will have an Anbu squad to spy on Narui, and Kakashi and Guy carry on as if you don't know anything. We can't let anyone find out about this, especially Danzo. Because we all know that if Danzo finds out about Naruto, he will definitely try to kidnap Naruto or kill him. And then Hiruzen will finally finish off with saying, I don't plan on taking Naruto in immediately. I want him to be able to finish the final phase of the Chunin exams, but I do swear on my life that I will bring in Naruto to the Leaf Village and fulfill my promise to his parents. And after that, they all part ways after agreeing on the plan. Hiruzen then heads back to his office in order to prepare for his operation to spy on Naruto, and when he walks into his office, he finds his only remaining student. Or to say it better, his only student remaining in the Leaf Village. So then he says, "It's been a long time, Jiraiya. You haven't come back here in over 10 years. He's like, "Indeed, Sensei, I came back with some info." He hands over a stack of paper, and then he says, "I'm also here to check on Minato's son." And Hiruzen's like, about that, yeah. He's not exactly a Konoha ninja. And he says that while, avoiding eye contact with Jiraiya. But then he's interrupted by Jiraiya, and he's like, "What? What happened? Did he quit? Did he die? Answer me, Hiruzen." And obviously he's very emotional right now because Minato is very important to him, and so is Naruto. So then Hiruzen says, "Well, how do I put this? Well, he's a hidden cloud shinobi, and it seems he has some ill feelings towards Konoha." And at this point, Jiraiya has lost his shit. He's like, "What the hell? How did you let this happen? You promised Minato. You promised him. You promised that you'd take care of his son." And Jiraiya is yelling, and Hiruzen just trying to calm him down. And then Hiruzen says, "It's not all bad news. We know his whereabouts." And when Hiruzen says that, this calms down Jiraiya a little bit. He's like, "Tell me where he is, and I'll burn that place to the ground." And Hiruzen's like, "Sorry, pal, I can't let you do that." And he's like, "What?" And he says, "Because you would be burning down a Leaf Village." And this really confuses Jiraiya. And he's like, "Huh? If he serves the cloud, why is he in the Leaf Village? Isn't he a rogue ninja?" So then Hiruzen will tell him about the Chunin exams. And he says that he's wearing a disguise and he goes by the alias of Narui, but he definitely had the QB inside of him and that Hiruzen could sense it. And then he tells Jiraiya that Naruto is such a prodigy. He's so strong that he might be the biggest prodigy that they have seen in the Chunin exams since Itachi Uchiha. And after hearing all of this information, Jiraiya says, "Take me to Naruto now." But then Hiruzen says, "We cannot do that. I'm setting up an Anbu operation to gather intel on him. We must not be hasty. You should know that your specialty is gathering information and intel." And Jiraiya's like, "You know what? Fair enough." He's not happy, but he has to accept it. And meanwhile, Naruto is walking towards the forest just outside the village to meditate and clear his mind. His odd feelings are still plaguing him. He does not know how to ignore them. They are really, really on his mind, to say the least. He's never felt anything like this. To have these emotions for someone who's basically emotionless is very strange. And then Naruto will travel multiple miles away from the village to meditate in one of the old spots he meditated in when he was out on his own in the wild. And while meditating, he's not only fighting his mystery emotion, but the urge to destroy Leaf before the set invasion date. He stays there for many hours and is finally able to suppress his emotions that he felt so deeply. And as the sun sets, he heads back to his room in the inn, and he grabs some ninja tools and some scrolls to train with. And before he can head back to the camp he set up in the forest, he decides to head to the library to get some even more scrolls and some chakra nature papers to train with to see if he can learn some more jutsu and maybe a second chakra nature. By the time he gets back to his makeshift camp inside the forest, he decides that it's pretty late and they should get a good night's rest before he starts training the next day. And once waking up the next day, he's going to decide to get right to work and grind like he always does. And he pulls out his chakra nature paper that he stole, and when he applies his non-wind chakra to it, the paper burns, meaning his second chakra nature is fire style. And the reason I'm giving him fire style is because his first chakra nature is wind, and Kushina's first chakra nature is wind, so that means he got wind style from his mother, so it's only fair that his second nature comes from his dad's first nature, which is obviously fire, as I said before. So don't go down in comments complaining that he would get something else. He gets fire, okay? I've already explained this in another video, and that's it. I'm going to make sure that this is clear. He's always going to get fire as a second chakra nature in all my What If series from now on, because that is the most realistic. And before you go down saying oh, Naruto's just a genin, he can't get two chakra natures, yes he can. Remember, he's incredibly skilled. As I said before, he was the greatest prodigy since Itachi. And Sasuke did it in canon, and remember, he did it with only 3 weeks, or maybe a little less, because he was in the hospital for at least a week, because obviously he had the curse mark, and he did it without shadow clones, which Naruto does know the secret to in this timeline. So, since he established that he will learn fire style, and Sasuke learned lightning style, and he got a whole A rank jutsu as well, I'm not gonna give him an A rank jutsu. I'm gonna give him a few genin and chunin level jutsus. And the first I'm giving him is the Flaming Fist technique. And this jutsu basically engulfs the user's arms in fire from like elbow down, and along with engulfing their hands with fire, which will do like burn damage to their opponent, like when they're doing Tag Jutsu fights. It'll also enhance their Tag Jutsu strength and speed just a little bit. And think of it like Leona from Black Clover, where she engulfed her arms in fire. And the second jutsu I'm gonna give him is the Fireball Jutsu. And obviously this is the basic fire style jutsu that every fire style ninja starts with. And obviously he has to have this. This would probably be the first jutsu he learned actually. And finally the last jutsu I'm gonna give Naruto is Exploding Tag Jutsu. And this is a jutsu where he throws a bunch of kunai with exploding tags on the end, and he uses a fireball jutsu to make them all explode mid-air, doing damage to his opponent. You guys might be saying, oh my god, he's learning 3 new jutsu and a whole new chakra nature in a single month. That's insane, that's so unrealistic. But remember, this guy trains like a bloody mad lad. He trains more than Rock Lee, and he uses his shadow clones to his advantage to make him train even more efficiently. And then on the final day of the training month, we'll go back to the village and we'll meet up with Samui, who will then scold him a lot for just fucking disappearing for an entire month. But Naruto's just gonna take her scolding with not a care in the world, which obviously annoys Samui, but you know, what's Samui gonna do about it? Naruto doesn't really care about a lot of things other than just being strong and his goals. And then he just leaves and he just goes to get a good night rest. And now you guys might be wondering what happened to the Anbu team that's supposed to spy on Naruto. What happened to them for the entire month? Because I kind of just stopped talking about them, but now I'm going to talk about them. And basically, Naruto already left before they can be dispatched, and that means that they don't really leave the village to look for him because they don't expect that. But knowing that they're the Anbu, they don't give up. They think that Naruto's just hiding inside the village, so they're just going to search for him for like all the 30 days, and they're not going to find him because obviously he's outside the village. And now that Naruto's going back to the inn that he's supposed to be staying in, the Anbu unit will actually find him, and it's just a single Anbu member who is stationed at Naruto's inn or his room to spy on him. And obviously Naruto is going to feel his presence, and he can tell that there's someone watching him. And so what Naruto is going to do is that he's going to pretend to go to sleep, but he's actually making a shadow clone that is sleeping. And when the Anbu member that was spying on Naruto sees that Naruto is sleeping, or the shadow clone is sleeping, he's going to leave and report back to the Hokage and the rest of his team that Naruto has been found. But when he goes to do that, he'll be ambushed by the real Naruto, who takes him out with the element of surprise, and this means that he is knocked out, and they won't ever find out about Naruto actually being found and that he's back inside the Leaf Village. But they don't actually know that he even left the Leaf Village, so yeah, that's kind of irrelevant, but they won't know that he's been found. And so when he takes out the night shift guard, he's gonna go to sleep. Besides, he needs to wake up at 3 or 4 a.m. so he doesn't get caught by the day shift guard, who needs to spy on his room. And he's gonna go out and he's gonna like hide the Anbu member's body that was spying on him, and then he's going to go to like some random alleyway which won't be checked by the Anbu, and he's just gonna sleep there until the tournament starts. But before Naruto goes back to sleep in some kind of alleyway, he's gonna break into Samui's room and wake her up, and Samui's gonna be pretty annoyed about being woken up, but Naruto will tell her about the Anbu members that are stalking him, and she will deem this as important information that Naruto had to obviously tell her. And then Naruto goes back to sleep, and he's gonna wake up when the whole tournament starts. And Samui isn't too like phased by the whole Anbu stalkers, because she knows that they can't really do anything at this point, that they haven't stalked on Naruto for the entire month, and obviously they don't know about the whole invasion plan, and it's pretty much too late for them to do anything, so as I said, she doesn't really care. And she's not worried about the invasion, but she's also not worried about how they're suspicious of Nari being Naruto. So obviously she does realize that they're very suspicious, and that's why they're spying on him. But you know what? She's like, you know, it's way too late, what are they gonna do? And then when Naruto's gonna try to go back to sleep in the alleyway, he's gonna find himself thinking about Hinata again in his outburst in the preliminary exam, and despite having many girls who had a crush on him in the academy, he's never reciprocated those feelings for him, so it's safe to say he has no idea what's going on inside his heart, but then eventually he drifts off into his slumber. And people were talking a lot about the Naruto-Hinata ship, and I'm just gonna say, it's really unclear at this point. I could go either way with the Naruto-Hinata ship. He could be saved by Hinata, or he might be too far in, but that is for the future to say. And so you guys need to stop, arguing about this in the comments. It's really 50-50 at this point. And now let's get back into the actual video. So when Naruto wakes up, he doesn't go to the arena before his match in case the Anbu kidnap him or something like that. So in the third phase again, all the contenders will be there except for Naruto and Sasuke, obviously since Sasuke showed up late. And also since Dosu was swapped for Sai, and Sai isn't dumb enough to get killed by Gaara, Sai will be there, and that means Shikamaru has to face Sai before he faces Tamari, because Tamari had a bye for the first round. And if you don't know what a bye is, it just means that she had a free first round. That's a sports term. So when the matchups start, they say Neji versus Narui. Neji lines up. He's going to be super pissed because he thinks that Narui is a no-show. And he's going to be so mad because the person who saved Hinata and called him out during the prelims is literally just no-show. So he thinks that he talked real shit, but that he just chickened out. And also the crowd's going to be super pissed because they definitely wanted to see the Hyuga Prodigy fight. Because they definitely wanted to see the Uchiha Prodigy fight in canon, so I can see it being no different for the Hyuga Prodigy. And around before the Chunin exam's final phase started, they would find that the Anbu member that had the night shift and Narui are just completely missing from their room, and they know since the Anbu member is missing, they know that something is wrong and that Narui probably took him out. So that's when Hiruzen will hear about this, and he will be kind of worried to think that Narui is a no-show, and that he took out the Anbu member, so he's definitely pretty worried at this point. And right now, Narui, or Naruto, is in the building right across from the arena, where he's just in earshot of hearing whatever is going on inside the arena. I have to tell you guys, remember, all of Narui's senses are super enhanced due to his time inside the forest, and that's how we can hear it from the entire building away. And as the proctor is about to declare Narui as a forfeit, a cloud of dust flies up inside of the arena, and as it disperses, Narui is right there due to him using the body flicker technique. And this shocks completely everybody. The whole crowd is just surprised, and Neji is like just shocked. He was super caught off guard, and so was the proctor. They decide to carry on with the fight that Naruto isn't disqualified, and they're gonna go on with the fight. I'm gonna wrap the video up there, guys. Remember, if you enjoyed the video, just like and subscribe. There's no harm to you, and it helps me out a lot, and I would be super grateful for that as well. And remember, join the Discord. We have a great time. And without further ado, remember to have a great day and stay safe. This is Shadow Sage signing off.